Coming up, students walk out in support of Palestine.
And later, celebrating an icon, the University of Iowa mascot celebrates his 75th birthday.
Relive greatness, a look back on Caitlin Clark's legendary run as a Hawkeye.
Rain or shine, yesterday saw tons of rain, but today sees tons of sun. I'll have more about the warm weather ahead.
All that and more
Coming up right now on DITV.
Good morning from Iowa City. Thank you so much for tuning in to our final show of the semester. Today is Friday, May 3rd. I'm Ashley Wheel.
And I'm Michael Merrick.
And for our top story of the day, we have DITV's Kara Doolin live right now at Iowa City High School, where a planned protest is taking place. Kara, can you tell us what's going on?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Ashley. I'm live outside now at Iowa City High School, where several students have organized an all-day walkout to protest the U.S.'s involvement in the Israel-Hamas war. I'm here with the organizers right now. The organization is City Students for Palestine. Guys, can you just tell me a little bit about why you organized this event and why it was important to you?
Do you want me to go first?
Okay.
So we organized this event in solidarity with the Columbia students and the other students across the country and the world protesting at universities by doing encampments similar to ours, and especially because they want their universities to divest from their ties with Israel. And specifically ours is in solidarity with them, as well as to protest against the Israeli government and American involvement in supporting Israel.
And then what do you hope to accomplish today?
Yeah, so we just hope to raise awareness for this issue, especially at our high school. We're trying to get some more involvement in these global issues that have a real impact here at home. And so, yeah, we're just hoping to get eyes on it so that people pay attention to what's going on.
Perfect, thank you so much. And now the walkout is scheduled from 8:30 to 3:15 today, so I'll check back in later to see what's going on. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Kara, for that update. We're going to now send it to the third member of our team. DITV's David Consuelos is live now with our weather forecast.
Yeah, Michael, what an interesting question, because yesterday was not the nicest with all the rain, but today tells a different story. I'm happy to tell you I'm live outside in Covered Park, where it is beautiful, perfectly sunny, and in the mid-50s. Today we'll see a beautiful high of 74 degrees, and tonight will cool down to a chill 49. Tomorrow will unfortunately not be the same vibe as today. Tomorrow there'll be scattered thunderstorms with a high of 68 and a low of 45. So soak up as much as the sun today before tomorrow. I'll have more with finals week on the horizons, but I'll send it back to you guys in the studio for now.
Thank you, David. And here at the University of Iowa, students will also be holding demonstrations throughout the weekend. A post on Tuesday from the Iowa City Students for Justice in Palestine released that from Friday to Sunday, noon to 7 p.m. each day, students will be at the lawn of the Pentecrest standing with the student encampments across the country. It was noted and then reiterated in a post Wednesday that these demonstrations will not be encampments. They instead will push their goal of disinvestment from the university. And with the recent protests on college campuses, Iowa lawmakers are commenting on what they've been seeing. We now have DITV's Claire Green live in the newsroom with what Iowa lawmakers are saying about these protests.
Yes, Ashley, with both Senator Joni Ernst and Governor Kim Reynolds have issued their thoughts on these protests. With protests on major campuses of Columbia, UCLA, and Texas, urged for the further rise of violence and escalation of the protests to stop.
Now, we all support everyone's First Amendment right to free speech, but this is not free speech. Again, it's incitement of violence.
Governor Reynolds, along with other Republican governors, came together in solidarity with the Jewish community and recognized May as Jewish and Heritage Month. saying, quote, "Our country has a long history of supporting Israel, and now more than ever, it's important we stand in solidarity with the Jewish community against horrific acts of anti-Semitism, religious bigotry, and terrorism both in our country and across the globe," end quote. Despite protests across the country and in the state, the governor and senator have not changed their stances. Back to you, Ashley.
And Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds signed 12 bills into law Wednesday that will see an impact to taxes and biomarkers. Senate File 2442 will cut Iowa's income tax to 3.8% for the 2025 tax year. With this cut, Reynolds claims the latest tax cuts resulted in Iowans receiving $23.5 billion in tax relief since she's become governor. The other bill, Senate File 574, will create tax credit programs for research and manufacturing projects with a $1 billion investment into the program. Reynolds also signed House File 2668, requiring insurance companies to cover biomarker tests that test for cancer and other diseases. Governor Kim Reynolds has requested a presidential disaster declaration for Iowans affected by the severe weather on April 26th. Clark, Crawford, Harrison are just a few of the 9 counties in Iowa included in the governor's request. If the request is approved by the government, the FEMA Individual Assistance Program will provide money to help homeowners and businesses recover from the storms.
Standing united, Iowa City community members marched for migrants. DITV's Jace Bertrand was at the protest to learn about how members of the community got involved.
Iowa City residents are standing in solidarity with immigrants not just across the state, but around the world.
It's a very special day for us, immigrants.
Nearly 200 protesters met at College Green Park before marching through the streets of Iowa City towards City Hall. The march was done in solidarity with nearly 2,000 protesters in Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and the Quad Cities.
Creemos que sea un mensaje, un impacto para que la gobernadora, sus sucesores vean que necesita de la comunidad inmigrante para salir adelante y el desarrollo de este estado.
Many at the protest spoke out against Governor Kim Reynolds' signing of a controversial bill which makes illegal immigration a crime in Iowa. Under this bill, immigrants can be charged with a misdemeanor if they have been denied entry into the U.S. or have been deported.
We want to send a message today that first, hate never is going to win. Love is the answer.
The bill is set to go into effect July 1st, although protesters are calling on courts to overturn it.
They don't want to be afraid anymore. They want to be heard. They want everyone to know that their needs matter, and I think that's the best thing we can do here.
Following the march, protesters gathered at City Hall where migrants shared their stories, and Mayor Bruce Teague affirmed his solidarity with immigrants.
And oppose any policies or practices that seek to undermine their humanity or civil liberties.
Protesters hope that this demonstration shows immigrants around the world that they are heard and that they are seen. From College Green Park, Jace Bertrand, DITV.
The decision to transfer services from the Rape Victim Advocacy Program, or RVAP, to the Domestic Violence Intervention Program was made last month. However, some students are continuing to make it clear that they will continue to stand or sit in opposition.
There is student support for this program. Students use this program, and that's not a good enough reason to not have it anymore, is because students aren't getting assaulted enough.
Supporters of RVAP hosted a sit-in on Wednesday in the Iowa Memorial Union from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. outside of the office of the Vice President of Student Life. They were hoping to pressure them into reversing the decision to remove RVAP. The UI President Barbara Wilson addressed the situation in an interview with the Daily Iowan, saying that it's her understanding that RVAP services will continue to be offered through DVIP.
I hope it will be seamless. I think people have been very nervous about it, but our goal is to keep serving rape victims, survivors, and anybody who needs the help, and doing it in the way that's the most effective.
The Office of Student Life did not make any comments to the Daily Iowan. And now we're going to take a look back outside with DITV's David Consuelos for another look at the forecast for the week ahead.
Thanks, Ashley. I'm still live outside in Hubbard Park, enjoying this beautiful morning with some lemonade. There's people walking their dogs, people enjoying the weather. There will be thunderstorms tomorrow, like I said earlier, so just soak up as much sun as you can, but there'll be great weather next week for finals week. Let's take a look at the week ahead, and oh my, that is so beautiful. The majority of next week will be in the mid-70s. The entire week will be all sunny, which is perfect to get some studying done and take some finals. I think I'm gonna go sit down, finish off the rest of this lemonade, and relax for a few, so I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, David. Make sure you're relaxing for sure. But with the end of the year coming, that means it's a time of reflection. And of course, here at Iowa, it's hard to look back at the year and not bring up Caitlin Clark. Her impact on campus and the nation is indescribable. But here's a look back at Clark's legacy as a Hawkeye.
You've had an incredible journey to this point, especially with the historical viewership. What would you say to kids striving to be you right now?
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark fans.
You know, this is what I kind of said up my entire career is like, nobody really believed other than myself. I think confidence, I think as a young girl, like just have confidence, a young boy, have confidence in yourself and confidence in whatever you want to be.
When she came in as a freshman and she said, we're going to the Final Four, and a lot of people laughed at her and maybe even laughed at her for coming to Iowa, quite honestly. But she believed, we believed, and she got everybody else in that locker room to believe, and that is not an easy thing to do.
If you don't like women's basketball after today, you just don't like basketball.
Last night was a night where everyone figured that history was going to be made, but Caitlin Clark decided that one record just wasn't enough.
Within 24 hours of breaking the scoring record on Thursday night, Caitlin Clark has sold more merchandise than any other collegiate athlete since the NIL standards were set back in 2021.
Caitlin Clark became the women's all-time leading scorer, but tonight she became college basketball's all-time leading scorer.
And the mythical mastery of Caitlin Clark continues. Clark for the win!
I was just that young girl, so all you have to do is dream, and you can be in moments like this.
And what a wonderful ride this past season was. Good luck to Clark and the rest of the Hawkeyes in their future. And although it seems like it's far away, Hawkeye football is slowly approaching. And with the news of Deacon Hill entering the transfer portal, that quarterback position doesn't have a lot of depth. We have DITV sports reporter Max Von Grease live from Hubbard Park with an update on Hawkeye football. Max, what do you make of Iowa's QB's room?
Well, Michael, I'm here live at Hubbard Park where students love to play football, soccer, you name it. And frankly, I'm ready to play some catch with David. But to be honest, I think I might be submitting my resume to the Hawkeyes as they're looking for a new quarterback, as right now they only have 2 healthy quarterbacks on the roster. Marco Linus, who has very little experience at the quarterback position, and true freshman James Reeser, who hasn't even played a snap in the black and gold yet so far. Former starter Cade McNamara is coming off a bad knee injury and hasn't taken full reps yet this season. And Deacon Hill, who was taking all the first team reps at the beginning of the spring ball and started the majority of the season last year, is looking for a new team in the transfer portal. It'll be interesting to see what new offensive coordinator Tim Lester will do, but a lot of talk has been that the Hawks are targeting former Northwestern quarterback Brendan Sullivan in the transfer portal. Sullivan threw for 713 yards and had 6 total touchdowns in only 5 games for the Wildcats. Regardless of who the quarterback is going to be next season, the Hawkeyes will have to figure out who's going to be taking the snaps under center. And I'm just going to be honest here, Coach Kirk Ferentz, if you need someone, I can be your guy. I can be a quarterback. I'll send it back to you, Michael.
Thanks, Max. I'd love to see you getting some snaps on Saturdays, but let's take a quick look at Iowa baseball's thriller earlier this week against North Dakota State. It is the top of the first. Bases are loaded, and NDSU's Colton Becker bombs one into right field over everyone's head. Gives the Bison an early 4-0 lead in this one. Now, bottom of the first, and Reese Moore says he'd like to see some more runs on the board, that is, for the Hawkeyes, as he hits a 2-run shot. Now, we'll fast forward to the top of the 7th, and it's all Bison in this one, 15-8. But after this RBI double from Carson Hake, that makes it 16-8. Hawkeyes trying to get a little bit of a late game rally. Andy Nelson up to bat. And Nelson's gonna bomb a grand slam of his own. It's like a Denny's out here, all these grand slams being handed out. Iowa couldn't complete the comeback, however, and lose it 21-14. Softball time now, Iowa versus UNI. Hawks trying to get some momentum in the third inning, but the diving grab from UNI's Alex Papello shuts down that plan. Bottom of the sixth now, Panthers climbing back after being down 5-0 to start, and Kylie Sanders sends the solo shot into orbit, and will cut the lead to just 1. This game was absolutely insane. Hawks had that big lead early. Now just a few at-bats later, it'll be Darren Lamprecht who will come up to the plate here. There she is. She's going to drop this one right into center field, and Iowa has trouble fielding it. The tying run will have the play at the plate, and they score it. UNI ties it, and they go on to win it 6-5. And April's Student Athlete of the Month recipients are women's basketball's Caitlin Clark and men's track and field's Rivaldo Marshall. Marshall set a new program record in the 800 meters to win the event at the Gym Click Shootout in Tucson, Arizona. With his time, Marshall reached an Olympic qualifying standard. The junior is ranked first in the Big Ten and 7th overall in the NCAA. And as we all know, back early in early April, Clark led the Hawkeyes to their second national championship appearance after getting revenge against LSU and defeating UConn in the Final Four. Clark then went on to be selected by the Indiana Fever #1 overall. And speaking of Clark and the Iowa women's basketball team, the Daily Iowan is set to publish a book detailing the stories in this past season. DITV's Colin Crithers went behind the scenes with those working on the project.
A prominent place for storytelling and one of the best stories in the country. Iowa women's basketball has been the forefront of collegiate athletics, and now the Daily Iowan is providing fans a new way to view their story from a completely new lens.
I think what's unique about the coverage that the students at the Doc Workshop, J School, and Daily Iowan have done is it's a very personal look.
The book stories with photos from the beginning of the season with Media Day, all the way up until the national championship.
Documenting a historic moment for the Iowa women's basketball team, but also a historic moment for women's sports as an entirety.
But it's also showing other stories of high school sports, fans, this national attention that the team had.
The Daily Iowan has collaborated with the School of Journalism to show the team's personality and impact with visual storytelling.
It's really satisfying to finally be able to show that work because a lot of people don't, because they're not there, they don't know what it's like to be behind the scenes, but it all comes together to this culmination of a wonderful story.
Despite the long process and struggles, the team is looking forward to releasing an exciting piece.
By the end of it, I was just so excited to be able to tell their story, and I feel very grateful for the opportunity.
The Daily Iowan is in the final stages of the book, and it should be in people's hands in the coming weeks. From the Adler Journalism Building, Colin Crithers, DITV.
So much excitement on campus, and speaking of, it's continued with Herky on Parade. Got started on Wednesday to celebrate the mascot's 75th birthday. DITV's Brady Barron talked with organizers and artists about these new installments.
This Herky statue right next to me is the IMU Centennial Herky in celebration of 100 years of the Iowa Memorial Union, but this is just one of the 99 Herky statues unveiled across the Iowa City area and one of 260 designs from 150 different artists for consideration for Herky on Parade. In 2004 and 2014, Herky on Parade placed statues across Iowa City, Coralville, and North Liberty, but this year they added a couple new communities.
Our community and county just continues to grow, and so it's great that we are able to expand into Solon and Tiffin. Great communities, and they couldn't be more excited to have Herky and be part of Herky on Parade.
For the artists of these statues, Herky on Parade gave them a chance to create art for the Iowa City community to enjoy while being a part of this historic Hawkeye tradition.
We just have enjoyed having our
artwork on display for our family and friends to see, but then just to kind of be a part of some of the history.
I just think it's a great celebration of what we do here. The community comes together for very few things, but one of the things we come together for is Herky.
And while this Herky, along with his 98 other buddies, were unveiled on Wednesday, there's still one more special golden Herky left to be unveiled sometime in the month of June in a hidden location. All 100 of these Herkies are going to be on display all summer long.
All you're going to see is a line of kids wanting to go get their photo with and just check the box, and go see all 100.
I didn't realize there were going to be 100 of them, so I'm walking around with my camera, finding all of them that I can and taking pictures of them.
All of the Herky statues will come together one last time at the end of the summer for Fri Fest before being auctioned off, with all of the proceeds going to the art education programs at the Iowa City Community School District and the Clear Creek Amana School District. From the IMU, Brady Barrett, DITV.
Hancher Auditorium announced their 2024 to 2025 Broadway series package on Wednesday. The package bundles tickets for the national tours of hit Broadway shows. Next year, it will showcase 4 musicals: Dear Evan Hansen, Hadestown, Mean Girls, and Tina. In addition to bringing 4 new shows to Iowa City, ticket prices have also dropped, making Broadway more accessible to students here at Iowa.
Whereas this year we had them discounted, we worked really hard this coming season with Broadway producers to make those tickets even more affordable.
To the public on June 17th is when those tickets will be available. And taking the stage, the Iowa New Play Festival is taking place this week. The festival gives graduate and undergraduate student playwrights a chance to have their work performed and workshopped.
But everything you see is fully produced and fully staged, but it's all one big festival.
This year, 4 graduate works were in full production, with 2 featuring music and song.
And so it's fun in that we get 2 different ways that music is being used by a playwright.
Christopher Lysick is an MFA playwriting student at Iowa and is the playwright and composer for American Results.
So it's a spooky play. It deals with themes of immigration, deals with mythology and ghosts and women who live in rivers and kill men and all that fun stuff.
The final production of this year's festival, Razor Creek, a folk rock sci-fi musical, premieres tonight.
Razor Creek is a really tender story that is about community and belonging, and I can't wait for them to experience that with us.
So it's been really exciting to just be a part of a musical, and not only a musical, but a new musical, which is crazy because there's nothing to listen to soundtrack-wise. It's all you, and so that's been pretty cool to just try out new things.
All that, plus having a limited rehearsal time and finals right around the corner, has made this production an exciting challenge.
Really amazing experience for our actors to be able to do this, because this is the type of work they're going to do when they go to New York or other bigger cities that are in development, especially with new musicals.
All these shows offer unique opportunities to see plays come to life, and have actors and crew have opportunities to work with new, never done before work.
And the whole theater department is really, really buzzing this entire week. You're just going from reading to round table. I think it's when this department is at its best.
Along with these new productions, New Play Festival showcased readings of more new plays throughout the whole week.
And there are many DJs in Iowa City that work at the dozens of bars. DITV's Hannah Lipsky has a behind-the-booth look into 2 DJs that stand out from the rest.
The bar scene in downtown Iowa City is a huge part of the community's economy. There are a lot of people that go into running these bars, from bartenders and bouncers to DJs, who set the tone all night long, or at least until bar close.
I feel like I've really built a community with everyone here. It's helped me connect with so many other people that I would have not met before.
Emma is breaking down barriers, being the only female DJ in Iowa City.
I'd try to go up to other DJs, and they're mainly men, and I'd say, hey, I'm trying to become a DJ, I want to learn from you. And they kind of took it as in a way that I'm just a girl trying to talk with them and be cool or whatever, when I really just want to learn how music works.
Her freshman year of college, she asked Studio 13 if they had any job openings, and soon after began DJing for them. It took her about a year to learn and feel comfortable and also craft her own style.
I like to to think I'm more of like a 2000s person. I really like to go back and like remind people of how they used to be as like when they were younger.
And another DJ is a favorite among Iowa students.
And I know DJ Jimmy Jim because we're like Jimmy Jim.
I would quit once I had a day job. That was 47 years ago.
Jim drives from Des Moines to Iowa City every weekend to DJ, and he started his journey in high school playing for sock hop dances. He started on vinyl records and then moved to cassettes, CDs, and now a computer, learning how to work with all of these on his own.
When I walk into the booth to start the show, I don't know what I'm going to start with a lot of times because I totally depend on what the crowd feels like to me.
Jim describes his style as a hands-up, sing-along guy with female-friendly music. And despite his age, he is not planning on quitting anytime soon.
I certainly have a fear that at some point in time, somebody's going to say, hold out, new in, or whatever. But, you know, at that point in time, then I've had a good run. If that happens. I've been doing this a long time, had a lot of fun.
And like any other art form, DJs have their critics.
You can't be sensitive either because people are very critical. There's no right or wrong way to do it.
These DJs are just a couple of the many others in Iowa City that work these late hours and in this unique environment. From the Ped Mall, this is Hannah Lipsky, DITV.
A fashionable debate, reselling is growing in popularity, but also in controversy. DITV's Kayla Smith tells us how ethics and fashion work together.
I'm here inside of the Iowa City Goodwill where I've been investigating what goes into reselling thrifted clothes and if that process is ethical.
Reselling is the practice of purchasing items to sell themselves to someone else. This is often used as a tool to find money as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, that's been going on forever and ever.
At the University of Iowa, many students use reselling as a way to earn extra money.
Don't knock anybody's hustle. We're all out here, trying to make a little extra money.
Luke Weckel and Sayeda Aravani are Depop resellers who buy clothes from thrift stores to resell them to earn extra cash to help them financially through college.
How easily you could make a shirt look really nice in a specific lighting and people would just buy like a $30 item when I just probably bought it for like $2.
However, some argue that reselling thrifted clothing furthers economic disparities and takes clothing from underprivileged communities. But resellers claim that they are not negatively impacting these communities.
It's something that everybody and anybody can do. Just a matter of getting out there and looking for it.
When it comes to thrift stores, they see these resellers as an important part of their customer base.
When they shop our stores, those items they're looking for, when they find them, they can build a business around using us as their supplier.
But not everyone agrees that reselling is harmless. Some argue that reselling only furthers issues brought on by consumerism.
I think a lot of people say there's no ethical consumption, ethical purchasing under capitalism, but I think going within it with the most pure intentions is probably the best.
Reselling can also create an increased carbon footprint to the thrifting scene, which is known for being a sustainable way to shop.
But the problem is, if I go and I package that and I put it on Poshmark, and then I have to ship that across the country to a customer, there's a lot of associated emissions with that transportation of that product. So buying it locally, keeping it locally, reduces those carbon emissions associated with shipping it. And I think that's where a huge amount of impact can be avoided.
Regardless of economic and environmental concerns, reselling seems to only be getting more popular. From Iowa City, this is Kayla Smith, DITV.
Now we're going to send it back out to DITV's Kara Doolin, who's still at City High. Kara, how is the demonstration looking?
Thanks, Ashley. There's not a whole lot of turnout so far, but the school day did just start at 8:50, and we're still seeing students who are just arriving at school, so that could change. The Daily Iowan will be reporting on this throughout the day, so be sure to keep an eye on that and keep an eye out for a bigger, more in-depth story later tonight. Now, since it is the last show of the year, I'm going to send it out to some of DITV's wonderful seniors.
Thanks, Kara. I'm now here with Max. Max, next week is finals week, but our last week as Hawkeyes.
Yeah, David, it's insane to say this is our last week as students. A very stressful time, though. We all know about finals, final projects, final exams, but you just got to do it if you're a student. And luckily, though, the university has a resource page with tips on how to prepare for finals at studentlife.uiowa.edu. Study, prepare, and get out there and kill your final exam, fellow Hawkeyes. Lastly, we want to congratulate all the seniors here at DITV as they graduate alongside us.
Max, we're probably going to go play a game of catch, but thank you so much from Hubbard Park. I'm David Consuelos.
And I'm Max Von Grace. I'll send it back to our senior directors one last time.
Thanks, guys. And that was a showcase of all of our seniors live here today. we just want to say one more thank you to all of our seniors who have been here. It's been an honor being here at DITV.
Really has, Ashley. We don't have enough time for all the thank yous that I want to give. Can't explain how amazing these past 4 years have been working alongside you and here at DITV. It's been a great experience, and I'm excited to see all the great places that all these great people will go.
Oh, for sure. For the last time, I'm Ashley Wheel.
And I'm Michael Merrick, and have a wonderful summer vacation.